The No Way Out Podcast, episode 31, The Price of Freedom. The No Way Out Podcast, episode 31, The Price of Freedom. There is nothing free in life. Even the air that you breathe costs money. Everything in life has a price to it. There is control freedom. That is freedom that other people give you based upon your job, or if you're on probation, if you're on parole, or you're underneath somebody else's roof. They control what you do. There is a financial control that restricts your freedom. If someone is giving you money and they're taking care of you because maybe you don't make enough money, or maybe you've lost your job. But there is a price to pay for your freedom. Whether you are your own boss or you are underneath someone else's freedom environment or regime. You see, freedom is the most coveted, desired luxury and function in life. Having the ability to do what you want, when you want. That's priceless. When you think about the beginning of time, when blacks were slaves, over 400 years of slavery, people died trying to get to Canada because Canada was the only place where you could live free. So many black people tried to run to Canada, and they were killed, they were shot, they were butchered, they were decapitated, thrown in the ditches, fed to alligators because they were tired of being beaten, being raped, being burned, being whipped, tied to a tree like an animal. Then there was a woman named Harriet Tubman, who said, I'm going to change this. And herself and a bunch of other committed white people created the Underground Railroad, and she's freed over 500 slaves. She didn't even know how to read. She had a sleeping disorder because when she was young, a slave owner hit her in the head with an iron scepter, which caused her to have neurological issues with her brain. She had neurologic issues with her brain, and that caused her to fall asleep randomly. But she still sacrificed her life. Even had a bounty on her head up to $25,000, which was equivalent to over $1 million today for her capture. When you become incarcerated, your freedom is taken. You have to pretty much wake up at a certain time. You eat at a certain time. You may be on the yard for a certain time. You may have exercise on a certain time. Everything is controlled. You cannot leave that cave, that jail cell. Your life is in the hands of the system and other people. But that's in a physical form. But the future of your freedom lies within your mind. I'm going to say that again. The future of your freedom lies within your mind. Because how you view yourself, the future you want for yourself, your blueprint, your plan of how you're going to make it all come together is right within your brain. So right now, you being incarcerated and you being limited on so many things does not matter. Because your true freedom is going to come when in life, when you create the blueprint within your mind and you stick with it. There are so many people right now that want freedom, but they are afraid. They're afraid to leave their jobs. They are afraid to leave their abusive boyfriend. People are afraid to leave a toxic situation. Freedom is scary because it's the unknown. All the decisions fall on you. When you get released from prison or you get released from jail, what are you going to do? Where are you going to work? Where are you going to live? What is your future like? You see, psychologically, they want you to believe that you have no options. They want you to believe that you cannot function without being inside and being controlled. That's called psychological warfare. You see, when God gave you a brain, and you have all those brain waves, there's 5 brain waves that flow, that operate your mind. The theta, Theta, the theta brainwave allows you to dream when you go into a deep sleep. You see, that's a powerful thing to dream. The life you want is the life you create. Make no mistake about it. The life you want is the life you create. But you're going to pay a high price for your freedom, especially now with you being in the system. Everything is more expensive when you have a record, when you are a felon, or when you have a criminal background. Everything is more expensive. Everything is going to cost more. People are going to tax you more, which gives you all of the fire and the ambition that you need to make everything in your life come true, because you know you don't get the same privileges or leeway or bandwidth or credit line like everyone else receives. You see, the power of owning your own business, the power of making decisions that will give you the freedom that you want, regarding how you live, comes at a price. Right now, you're not focused on partying or hanging out or drinking or smoking or doing whatever. You are in the process right now of feeding your mind, reading the books that you need that's going to impart your brain with the type of knowledge to inspire you to go find the next book and the next mentor and the right help. You see, that's beautiful. That's part of the process. That's part of the grind. That's part of the struggle. Because you want to put yourself in a situation where you call the shots and you control it. Jay-Z and Meek have a song called What's Free? Freedom is what you define it to be. It's that feeling you get when you know it's all on me, but I'm going to make it happen. There's nothing more powerful than that. There is nothing more powerful than having a decision, than having a choice. There's nothing more powerful than that. And even though you are incarcerated right now, you have a choice not to be incarcerated within your mind. Because the life you want is the life you're going to create. And that's the beauty of it all. Nothing is going to stop you from acquiring the things you know you need to have. It's just going to cost you a lot more money and a lot more time and a lot more pain and a lot more sacrifice. So readjust your mind today. You have to read books. You don't have a lot of time to just goof around and do nothing. Your mind needs to be military. It needs to be on a strict schedule. You need to have very little wiggle room for error, because here's why. Every day you're in the jungle. It's eat or be eaten, kill or be killed. In your position right now, do you really feel you have time just to say, I'll get it done tomorrow? I'll get it done soon. You don't. Time is your biggest asset and your biggest enemy at the same time. Time is your biggest asset and your biggest enemy at all times. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. When you are creating the blueprint of your future, it doesn't matter what the price is. It only matters what the price is if you're not willing to pay it. The only thing you need to be focused on is the discipline that's required to achieve it. That's what's going to separate you. That's what's going to ensure that you beat the odds, even when you get on probation. Your dream is even more alive. Every day you breathe, your dream has an opportunity to bloom into full fruition. The thing that makes your freedom so expensive is self-doubt. Self-doubt, D-O-U-B-T. Are you going to doubt yourself? Do you feel like just because you've been knocked down, left behind, marginalized, spit on, do you think your life is in pressure? Do you think you cannot have the type of freedom you want? Of course you can. Even when you have to take a job that you hate, that is temporary, because that's a temporary bridge to where you're trying to go. The most powerful thing you can do is want to lead, is to be a leader. Because when you are a leader, that means you are going to create freedom for other people, most importantly, yourself. And that's so important. Most people die in regret because they never lived the life they wanted. They let other people control them. They let other people influence them. They let other people dictate where they go in life. And the sad truth is, that person didn't really care about you. Those people don't care about you. Right now, if you could be facing 20 years, you could be facing life, and you still are going to create the freedom that you need. You know why? Because even when facing life, even when facing 50 years, as long as you are free in your mind, you will live you will live for a very long time on this earth. There is a price to pay for your freedom. All the long nights you're going to spend, all the relationships you got to sacrifice. It's a lonely existence when you're fighting for the freedom you want. This world will give you freedom that they feel you deserve. But then on the flip side of that coin, the world will give you the freedom it feels you deserve. You will give yourself the freedom that you want. Think about that every day. The world will give you the freedom it feels you deserve. You will create the freedom that you want. It's expensive for the people that don't understand. It's priceless for the people that do. The No Way Out podcast, The Price of Freedom, episode 31. Shout out to Psychotron, 29 Skyy Entertainment, the Marathon Life, the GOAT. Let's get it. Love you, Psychotron.